story and also a blessed 30-minute mix of his. My name is Craig Herrera. My partner right here, Bandit. The next guest that we have coming up, Juliet Mendoza. She's very famous in the LA scene. Even though she doesn't think so, I do, and that's all that matters, right?
Oh my gosh.
So here she is, everybody, Juliet Mendoza. Let's give her a big round of applause for Juliet Mendoza. Thank you for being here.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
You know, when you had that gig where you, when I met you, or when I said go support you in Chinatown, where you had the people throwing their names in the hat, and whoever had to pick the name of the hat, I thought that was very unique.
Oh yes.
Tell us about that.
Okay, so
How did that start?
So during the pandemic, I feel that what happened is that a lot of people got a lot of shine, which is amazing because there are a lot of artists. There's a lot of people that love to do this thing. They love music. They love DJing. They do it in their bedrooms, or, you know, they did it for a while and then they got married, had kids, you know, X, Y, and Z. And they haven't been able to go out and just give to the community or, you know, play. And being able to have the access of now the internet, social media, Twitch, all these different things, it was so dope to just watch so many people come out of the woodwork. It was like, whoa, there's like a whole world out here that no one even knows about. Mm-hmm. And I think that just changed the game on so many levels. So I was like, man, how can I, you know, the thing with LA is that I feel like it's very cliquey and it's very like, it's divided in a lot of different ways. When back in the day when we grew up, we would go to the club and the club had 5 rooms and you would be in the club with disco heads, 80s heads, house heads, hip hop heads, like everybody and their mother would be in the same club. You would get to know so many different people. It was a melting pot. And then I remember when I was 17, I went to New York. My mom's family, they live in New Jersey. And we got snuck into the tunnel. And we went to like a bunch of different places. And I had a fake ID. And we went. And I was like, yo, this is mad dope. Like, you don't find this stuff, you know. You don't really get to enjoy the melting pots, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it was so nice to experience that in New York and then like see it the way that we did in LA, like just growing up going to all the clubs. I was like, man, I want to bring that melting pot together in LA. So how about there's no lineup, right? Or we don't know who the main DJ is gonna be. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have like a lottery and come through, you know, we'll have somebody open so you don't have to worry about who's opening, whatever. There'll be music playing. Come through, network, meet each other, and then put your name in a hat. It was called Bucket List.
That's dope.
Right? Put your name in a hat. Come through, and we're going to pick a name out of the hat. And whoever picked the name out of the hat, either you, if it was you and you wanted to play, you had your time to shine. It was, you know, prime time slot. 2 hours, do whatever you want to do and get down. Not 1 hour because that's usually like club standard and I feel like you're not going to be able to tell a story. So we're like 2 hours, why not, you know? And then there was different things that you could do. Like let's say you put your name in the hat. Let's say I put my name in the hat, right? But I'm throwing the event. What I would do is I would take it. If my name popped up, I'd be like, all right, cool. I got my name, but I'm not going to take it. I'm going to give it to the next person and take. So if you didn't want to do it there and then, you had the choice to pick another name or give it to somebody directly and say, hey, here, you take the slot.
That's cool.
Right? And it didn't matter. It was open genre.
So the East Coast scene compared to the West Coast scene, what's the difference?
Oh, man. I don't think there's a difference. Everybody loves to boogie and get dirty. And
Sucia.
Yes.
What's your favorite food, Juliet?
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. That's a hard one. You're talking to the wrong person about food. No, I've been a chef for over 15 years.
That's
yeah.
cool.
So
See?
it's just it's super hard to to pick food. I'm like, my favorite actually let me take it back. My favorite comfort food, that's like what I go to, is lasagna.
That's my favorite.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Garfield style. Like, give me the whole pan. And then sandwiches. because you can make anything into a sandwich.
Right?
Yeah, straight up, like.
See, people, you didn't know she was a chef, not a cook, a chef.
We'd have to invite her to the barbecue.
Oh, don't even tell me. I vamos. Yeah.
What's your biggest fear?
Oh my God. My biggest fear. Drowning.
Ooh.
Yeah. That's it's something that like I had a experience when I was younger, and after that I was like, oh, I would never want to drown, so nah.
Same here. That I almost drowned myself. I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Water could be a scary thing sometimes.
Yeah. No, it's happened to me twice already, like where I thought I was gonna die. So that's my, yeah.
So now you know, no pool parties, okay?
Do you know how to swim?
For my life.
That's the best swimming right there. You get out of trouble.
Dude,
Just stay in the shallow end. You'll be all right.
Hell yeah. I'm like, yeah.
Stay backwater.
Yeah.
Bandit.
How do you feel about the whole vinyl versus controller thing? I follow you on Instagram now, and I noticed you do a lot of vinyl, and I seen you do stuff on controller. What's your thought on that?
So when I started DJing, it was vinyl. I started with vinyl. And then now that I'm out playing more, it's more like club standard, so CDJs and things like that. It's a difficult thing because here's my take on it. Gosh, here we go.
It's all yours. The platform is you.
So I feel that no matter what you do, if this is something you want to do, you should touch vinyl. I think that it should be a requirement.
Right?
Right? Absolutely.
Are you guys listening?
Requirement, guys.
I mean, because here's the thing, right? Like, that's how it started. We can't take that away.
Exactly.
You can't. And so I feel like a lot of people need to understand that, there's not, you want to call them whatever, purists or whatever, vinyl purists and things like that. But the thing is, they hustled hard to play, to take records with them, crates of records with them, the homies carrying crates,
right?
With like doing the whole nine. Like, I mean, it was not easy when back in the day when I was, partying with the party crews and going to all these like ditching parties and all this craziness. Everybody came through with the crates. Like, that's what it was about. You would go digging for music and you would have all these records with you, and you didn't go by yourself. We would go like homies deep to Melrose to go buy records. Like, it wasn't a thing that you just did on your own. Unless you forgot a record, you want to go pick it up by yourself. You know what I mean?
Correct.
But
I forgot to grab that one.
Besides that, like, you're gonna be digging for hours and coming back home with like a stash. So, to me, it was about learning and respecting the art and respecting the people before me. And my mentors were like, if we ever see you with a computer, we're gonna like, it's not good. And I was like, oh my God, but I know I get it, and also being a female in this industry also is like a huge thing. It's not easy. So, you gotta learn how to play with the big dogs. That's the way they told me, like, grow thick skin and play with the big dogs and you'll be all right.
Right on. Do you wish you were somebody else?
Ooh, sometimes.
Is that good or bad?
What time is that?
I mean, if you, oh my gosh. Maybe when I want to do something that I know I'm going to get in trouble, I wish I was somebody else.
Isn't that us all?
Right. You know what? Sometimes, yes. There are times when I wish that I could just have like either the strength of one of my friends or just the way that they see things in a different way, or, stuff like that. I definitely have like a struggle with mental health. And so it's like it's a real thing for me. And it's like, okay, like today I really need to have the strength of so-and-so. And so I kind of like try to invoke that person and, just try to push myself out and be a little stronger.
Right on.
Nice.
Bandit.
Yeah.
How would you describe the music that you typically make? And I asked this because, when I made the flyer and I searched your name, so many dope tracks come up. So I was like, wow, I have to ask this question. I'm like, wow, what a library. But yeah, can you answer that for us?
So when I make music, I think about what I love, right? So I'm really into like classic, deep, old school, like New York loft, garage, house. Um, I grew up in 90s house, very hardcore Chicago, you know, DJ Irene, Humpty Vision, Bad Boy Bill, you know, lived in arena every Friday night. Like, I mean, um, you know, so just taking the inspiration from what I grew up with and then what I fell in love with house music, coming from the hard house, stepping into the dance world in that, and then getting into hip hop music, wanting to learn how to break dance and pop and do all those things, and then getting back into house music because of friends that I made learning how to dance. They took me to this spot called Deep. It's Marcus Wyatt. His
I think
club.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, and so
That dude's dope.
he when they took me there, that changed my life, because I was so used to just hard house, and so to go somewhere where it was just very, I mean, like the emotions were high, like people were in there losing it, like it wasn't about no battle mode, no none of that. It was just about
It was
being
about the
yourself.
music.
Yeah, the music, and you just lose yourself. It was just like people. I never seen people just kind of close their eyes and let themselves go. So that really changed me, and so hearing that music, that inspired a lot of the music that I make. And then just I love different types of music, so doing that and just being a dancer,
Nice.
wanting to give back to the community.
And so, if someone like myself wanted to get your music, where can I get it?
Everywhere. It's on every platform. It's on Apple Music, Beatport, TrackSource. You can stream stuff on Spotify. I have stuff on Spotify as well. They even have like a little, it's really cool. I was like, oh man, this is crazy, right? Like when you look at yourself, cause you know, I'm very like mad humble and just like to myself and very down to earth. And so I don't like go out there and like do like a bunch of craziness, you know, or like, and so like one time I remember I looked my name up and I was like, oh, what? This is so cool. And then it like shows all like the music that you've done, or like I've done a lot of vocal things for people.
Yeah,
Nice.
I saw that.
So things like that. And then it has like, oh, Juliet Mendoza radio station. I was like, what the hell?
Who created that?
104 what?
Yeah. I was
Hold on,
like,
let me
oh.
listen to this.
Yeah. So that was
That's
pretty
dope.
cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
What are your hobbies or talents that you have besides DJing?
Dancing. I love art. I love, man, dude, there's like, I mean, I love traveling. I love camping, hiking, good food. I love going to new places and trying food. But yeah, I would say traveling would be a big one for me. And just having like real good time to myself, like just kind of grounding moments.
And if you had to name someone who like, man, that DJ is the one who did it for me, or I know you mentioned Mr. Wyatt, but is there somebody else that you like looked up to, or a favorite song that just, that's going to be the one, or that's, you know what, I'm changing my life course and that's what I want to do?
Oh man. There's so many people. I think my mentors have changed my life in so many ways. When people ask me like, what do you inspire to be? And I'm like, I want to be the female charisma. And people think I'm crazy, but I'm just like, no, it's going to happen. I know it will. He is, he is a very important piece of the puzzle for me. If you've never heard of Charisma, I would definitely check him out, with a K. He is part of the Basement Boys. So when you hear Crystal Waters, if you know, you know, she's homeless. If you know the background about that track, you'll know like Teddy Douglas and Spin, and like the Basement Boys helped out with that and stuff. And he was part of the Basement Boys. So he's just been an amazing mentor, and the way that he plays, like, I mean, this man will destroy the CDJs. Like, he makes tracks on the fly. Like, he does, I mean,
Wow, that's dope.
everything that he does, like, that's the thing. That's kind of like going back to the question about like controllers and vinyl. There's some really cool things that you can do.
Absolutely.
With,
Yeah, right.
with today's technology. Like, I mean, there's these CDJs that when you really get to learn the equipment and the things you can do, like just the performance. I had someone tell me a while back, because I was so conflicted. I was like, well, what do I stick to, or what do I do? And, you know, you hear so much, like you hear a lot of voices talking when you're trying to do something like this. If you're going into a certain, you know, if you're going a certain direction.
Yeah.
And one of the DJs told me, he's like, I don't care. He's like, here's the thing, Juliet. He's like, I don't care what you play on. Show me who you are and perform. Like, show me how you're going to make yourself different. Show me how you're going to give. How are you going to, you know, because the people before you, they already did their thing, right? So
True.
how are you going to become someone?
Mm-hmm. How are you going to stand out?
To give back to this community. How are you going to do it? So even if it's on CDJs or vinyl, like what technique are you going to do, or what are you going to embrace in this culture, you know? So yeah, charisma would be my person.
There you go. Charisma. Shout out to you, my friend.
Yes.
What has been your favorite performance or tour so far?
Ooh, so in November of last year, I got to play with Peggy Goo. And the thing that made it special was that, so she's also another female in this industry, and she sold out the show at the Shrine in LA. It was sold out, and then it was here in LA, and it was an 18 and over crowd. And so for me, I'm like, man, like I remember when I was 18 and I would go out to the club, you know, and like to go out and like just get your mind blown by music. I was like, oh man, this is gonna be it for me. Like it's a hometown show, you know, like I gotta really come through with it, you know. So yeah, it was one of the best, most amazing experiences.
I saw you a couple of times also in downtown at the parks.
Yeah.
You tore it up there too.
Yeah. It's super fun. It's just a whole different vibe, you know. Especially, I mean, there was thousands of people. I don't even know how many people were in there.
Yeah,
Like
it can get packed. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But you always bring it. That's a definitely treat that we have today. What was it like for you being a kid?
I'm like, I can't talk about that. What if my mom's watching? Y'all want to just
Mute,
get me in trouble?
just turn it down.
I'm like, you didn't hear this. It was actually, I think like a lot of kids, like, I mean, if you're an Angelino, you know very well, like a lot of us walked to school. You know, our parents were working, they were hard workers, and, you know, we lived on the street. You were a street kid. And, you know, you would hear the lonchera, the roach truck, you know, and if you heard that thing, like, I don't know what time of the day it would roll through at your neighborhood, but for us, it would be a little bit more later in the evening, right before dinner. So you knew, like, oh, the truck's here. We're about to get called in to go home, you know. You know, things like that, just running the streets with a bunch of kids. And, you know, not in a bad way. It's not like my parents were bad, but, you know, I did, you know, run around in the streets of Hollywood and get in trouble, and, you know, like all kids do. And I was actually one of the good kids. I was one that was scared. I was, like, always scared. Like, oh, man, dude. And we'd get caught up in some dumb shit because somebody went and wanted to jack shoes from God knows where, you know, or something. And, hey, look out. And it's like, oh, my God, what are we doing, you know? But, yeah, my parents didn't know about that, so you didn't hear that. Yeah, but that's how I grew up. I went to Grant Elementary School, and then I ended up in the Valley because the gangs were taking over hardcore, trying to recruit kids at middle school and high school. I was supposed to go to LeConte, but my parents were like, hell no.
What part of town did you grow up in?
I grew up in Hollywood, right there off of and on Harold Way, right off of Normandy and between Hollywood and Sunset.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like a LA Hollywood high school area, right?
Mm-hmm.
LeConte, like you said, LeConte.
Yeah.
What message do you want to tell your fans or your friends, as Joaquin said?
I would say it doesn't matter how old you are, go out and get what you want. Go, you know, if you have a dream and you haven't, you know, even touched the surface to it, like, just go for it. Like, we only live once, life is short, and, You never know. You never know. You could change your whole life in one day, in a matter of minutes. In a matter of seconds, actually. So.
Right. What would you be doing right now if it wasn't for your music career?
Oh man. Honestly.
Ooh. This is all you. Behind the headphones. Who are you?
I mean, I know we all have other passions outside of music, but
I think two things. Either I would be a therapist or I would be dead. To be honest. Yeah.
Interesting.
I know people are like, wait, what?
I mean,
it's mad real though. Like
that's true. You got to speak from the heart.
Yeah.
Life is mad real. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Like you said, one day you could be here, one day you're not. So, you gotta live life to its fullest every day. If you could collaborate with anyone, who would it be?
Oh gosh. Oh man, that's a hard one. I have a couple of people that I actually want to collaborate with. But I don't want to say names because if somebody hears this and they're like,
Initials.
"Why didn't you say
Initials.
why didn't you say my name?"
I'm texting you tonight.
Like, oh God,
You didn't mention me.
No, I would actually, well, for collaboration, and it's actually something that I've been thinking a lot about right now. I want to pick a person from every single branch of house music genre to work with. But yeah, I want to do some more classic, deep house, soulful house, like in that direction, kind of, maybe even like a techno track too. But yeah.
Wow. That'd be dope.
Married with children?
Not married. Have children.
Very nice. Their ages?
21 and 2.
Wow.
Yeah.
Spread apart for sure.
Yeah. Big time.
Boy, girl?
2 boys. Boy, mom.
Right on.
Nice.
Right on. In 5 words, describe Juliet Mendoza.
Ooh.
It's always 5. Come on, Craig.
All right, 7.
No, 5's cool. I think 5 is good. Loving, down to earth, sassy, spicy, spiritual.
Nice.
I'm very spiritual. Right on. What is your greatest strength or weakness?
Ooh, weakness is not asking for help when I need it, when I'm overwhelmed. That's my weakness. I had to grow up real quick. So, you try to handle everything on your own, and I consider that my weakness, not asking for help when I need it. Strength would be being a chameleon, being able to adapt to different things and different situations and people, and I'm really good with just anywhere. You can take me anywhere and I'm fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Bandit.
If you wrote a book about yourself in your career so far, what would you title it?
Goddamn.
You're so inspiring. So I want to know.
Yeah, I would leave it at that. Like, you just need to read this book. Goddamn. Like, yeah, it's been it's a story.
Maybe you should write one.
I definitely need to write a story. Yeah.
I think you'd have a very interesting and cool book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What is your favorite song to perform if you had to choose one? Your own track, somebody else's track.
Like, if I got to go out and sing a song?
That or play? Karaoke?
Karaoke. It's got to be, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none.
Hey, that's a classic.
You heard that here first, right? It ain't no fun, that's for sure.
I mean, yeah, that's my karaoke go-to. It's a must. It's LA.
Right?
Yeah.
What is this one right here? Oh, okay. So, since you're a DJ and you've been a DJ for how long?
Oh my God! I started when I was 13. and then got into dance, and then stopped DJing because I was all over the place dancing. And then I got back into DJing when I was in my mid-20s.
So more of a dancer.
I love dancing. I've been dancing since I was a little girl. Like I love to dance. And then when I was kicking it with all the homies and the friends and the whole buying records, and I'd be everywhere because, like back in the party crew days, the thing was like, they had the main heads, right? So we would get together, and I was like the main head for the girls, and we would go, and I would go with all the guys and go record shopping, and sometimes some of the girls would tag along, but yeah. What was the question again?
What favorite song do you want to? What favorite song do you like to perform?
Oh no, I told you that.
Oh
one.
yeah.
Fun if the homies can't have no.
What were your parents like? Did they inspire you to become a DJ, or you just did it behind the scenes? Like Joaquin said, his parents helped him get some music, buy some tables. How did that happen for you?
I wanted to dance my whole life as a kid, and when I got to junior high, I wanted to go to performing junior high school, and my mom said no, and my dad was like, no, yes, we won't pay the rent this month, and we'll give her everything she wants. She should go to school for performing arts. And my mom said no, and so it was no. And anything that had to do, and it was bad, like I understand where my mom comes from, like especially for them, like they came to this country and they struggled and they did all these things to make sure that their families were good, and they wanted a better life, not only for themselves but for their children. And my mom was like, no, like that's not gonna make you no money. You need to be like a doctor, a lawyer, or something that's gonna, well, you're gonna have a good life. Like that's what they want, So my mom was not about it. My dad's a musician, so
nice.
My dad was like gun ho, like what, the whole nine. But when it came to the DJing stuff, when I was young, they didn't understand that. Both of them didn't understand what that was, So they were just kind of like, Plus, I was out all the time dancing and things like that. But when I got older, and I remember at Christmas when they're like, "Oh, ¿qué quieres para Christmas?" And I was like, "I want 2 turntables and a mixer." And they were like, "How much is it?" And I'd be like, "I don't know." And then they would look and they're like, "Not this year." Yeah. Next year maybe. And then the next year would come. They're like, "What do you want?" And I'd say the same thing over and over. I could not forget this over and over and over again. And then one day I was just like, you know what? They're not going to help me with this part, with the equipment part, and they had their own things to take care of. So I remember one day I was like, man, screw this. So I went on Facebook and I was like, does anybody have 2 turntables and a mixer? And one of my friends was like, yeah, I'll sell you mine for $50. I was like, what? Hell yeah.
Where's that guy at? What?
Yeah,
that's
right?
a friend right there.
$50?
Yeah.
Jeez. That's a friend.
He's like, I don't use them no more. Just give me $50. It's all good. And I was like, what? Hell yeah. So he gave me his new marks and this American, what is it? Oh my God, American DJ mixer. So that's what I had. That's what I started with at home in my 20s. And I was like, let's go, let's get it. What I did get from my parents was I got their vinyl.
Oh,
so
nice.
I got their classic rock, disco, oldies, all that stuff from them. And that's what I started with. And then I was like, I'm going to start digging for house music. So, yeah, and then that's how I got
Where'd you get your vinyl at? Or your wax, I should say.
So by then, that was already, what stores were left at Melrose, man? Oh my God. There wasn't many left anymore.
Like Beat Nonstop?
I think Nonstop maybe. DMC was gone already.
Gone already?
Yeah. And then Amoeba. Like I remember Amoeba. And then I started asking people, and that was really cool actually. A lot of people opened their doors to me and they were like, hey, I have this collection and I'll let you dig through it.
That's dope.
Some really cool people that have been around for a long time that were amazing. I don't know if you guys know like Will Lyons. He's another one also that Wayne Lyons.
Wayne
Lyons. He also helped me a lot too. Like he was always selling vinyl and stuff too, and he was like, "Oh, dude, you should do this. Like." I was like, "Yes, God sent." I would go digging with David Montoya. He's another local LA head as well. So yeah, I got a lot of mentorship, which was really cool from a lot of different people. That was really fucking cool. And then now what I do is I hit up like the purists, like people that are still playing vinyl and that are still relevant and do all these amazing things. I hit them up and say, hey, what do you think about this? I'm looking for this sound. What label would you recommend, or what, you know, what artist? And then I just go down the rabbit hole from there. Yeah.
Do you ever get nervous before a gig?
Hell yeah.
Right? That never goes away.
Never. I was just telling somebody this too. Like when I play vinyl, my hand shakes really bad. I have the handshakes. They're like, that's never gonna go away. And I was like, don't tell me that.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, like
be my friend and say it's okay.
Yeah, but you know, it's understandable.
Right?
We care.
My wife's like, damn, you drink that beer so quick. I'm like, give me another one. I need a shot too.
What would you change in the industry if you had a chance to change?
La fregada. No. I don't think anybody wants to hear my answer on that.
Oh yeah, they do. Of course, we all do.
That's why you're here.
That's
They're
right.
Like, ooh, no. What would I change? Oh my god. I would change the. I don't want to. Nah, that would not be the right way to say it. I think I would make it a little harder. I would make it a little harder to do this kind of stuff. I think it's too easy. I think that there are people that are trying to do this for the wrong reasons.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's, you know, a lot of people, they kind of, you know, I've had this conversation with a lot of people, and it's not that I don't want to embrace the next culture, because that's what the next upbringing, the next generation, it's not that. I do want to embrace them, and I want to be able to teach them things that I wasn't taught, so that they have knowledge and understanding of a lot of the things that are going on. Mm-hmm. But I feel that there's not enough knowledge out there. There's not enough education out there. Like, I feel like maybe what we need to change is having like more open conversations of like what actually this art form is, and like where it comes from, and the people that have been doing this, and for them to get schooled.
Yeah, I think they see it online and they just think like, oh, it's, you know, just get
It's a piece of cake. Go
controller.
get a laptop and let's go.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's more than that.
It's, I mean, people spend their paychecks on music. I know people that will go broke spending.
How come everyone's pointing at Bandit right here? What's going on?
You know, like, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, these people, I mean, we're not out here just ripping music off whatever. These people are taking their time to listen to records and do all these things. I don't just go on a website and say, oh, let me grab the top 10 songs of whatever the hell. Like, no, that's not the way it works. And a lot of people don't do the research, and they don't understand. Like, right now, I'm very blessed to have, I'm teaching a beginner DJ class at IO Academy. And it's very beginner. Like, I'm talking about learning Record Box, the software, what that is. They're learning on controllers. But the thing with that is that, you know, having somebody that is understanding of both worlds, I'm not just giving them today's, you know, this is so-and-so and so today, this is what matters today. Like, no, this is what matters, and this is how we got to today. So it's a... Teaching them
the history.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
History, learning how to play by ear is another one, because now with the computers and being able to see like your waveform and the BPM and knowing all these things, and it's very different. It's very hard for a lot of people to understand what it's like to touch vinyl and like really learn and hear it out, and pitching and writing a pitch. And
there's no cue points.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, pero no entienden. Pero, yeah. I mean, you know, we have to... That's why I say, like, I think there needs to be more discussions. I think, and that's the thing, like, the part that's missing is that people like y'all that have been doing this for a long time or been doing this for a while and do all the research and do the digging and know a lot of the history, and don't have the conversations necessarily with this newer generation, they're very hungry to learn.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I just think they don't have the right people to show them, and
That's correct.
you know, some people don't want to show because
Yeah, they turn their backs or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. I actually just had a conversation about that as well, because I was like, no one handed me no baton.
Yeah, you had to learn, right?
I was like, what the hell? I had to train wreck and do all that craziness. Like, I had to learn. I had to, and it wasn't let me practice for 1 hour. No, it was literally like my day off I would spend at the record store for 8 hours. The LP thought I was like crazy. They were like, what the hell is this girl doing here for so many hours? They thought I was jacking records or something. No,
Security.
Dude, yeah, for real. And I'm like, no.
You got another box?
Yeah. And like stuff like that. And then when I practiced at home, like I would go to work and come home and practice 4 or 5 hours. And it was like it was an ongoing thing, like practicing 2 records over and over and over and over and over again, and getting sick and tired of hearing the same damn thing. But you know what? That's the reality of it. Like,
yeah, that's how you learn how to catch the beat. I mean,
so it's just, there's just so much to this thing. And there's so much to this thing that I feel like nobody really talks about it as much.
yeah.
Or they don't want to listen, maybe,
And like I said, some people don't want to give that knowledge,
Yeah.
which I think you should give it back, because there's so many people out there that want to learn and want to know.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you played with Peggy Goo and done downtown and big events. What do you have coming up that we could tell this audience of yours? Where could they see you coming up in April?
Ooh, April's gonna be fun. April. So in April, I'll be at Coachella.
What days are you playing Coachella?
I'll be there on the Fridays. So the 14th and the 21st, I believe it is. Yeah. So those 2 Fridays, I'll be at the Yuma tent. I know my family was like super excited. It was really funny because it's the same day that Bad Bunny plays. So, all the Latinos back, all my family on the East Coast, everybody was just like, oh my gosh, she's playing with Bad Bunny. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what is going on right now? It's really cool to have, these opportunities presented to me.
Coachella is massive. I mean,
yeah.
what
like,
bigger
cool
stage is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Humbled right here to have an entertainer with us
no.
sitting where. It's amazing, Juliet.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm just like,
Right?
It's definitely I don't know, it's a lot of different emotions. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It's not just about like going out there and playing, like that's also changed a lot, right? Like from what I understand in here, and that's the thing about me, I love to do my research. I love to do my homework and find out what's going on with things, or like where am I playing and who's played there before me and who's done X, Y, and Z. I think it's very important to know that. So yeah, I mean, it started off as like more of an indie artist type of thing, and now it's
grown.
It's
Massive.
it's like
all over the place.
It's crazy. I was like, yo, this is like a fashion show on stage.
Nice.
I was like, I don't know about that though. I don't know if I'm fashionable like that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, like I love my sweats. I love my sweatpants. And
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's my thing, Like you see me out, I'm gonna probably be wearing sweatpants, Nikes, or some kind of sneakers, so I could dance my ass off.
Right on.
Yeah.
Last question.
Do you have any pre-show rituals, like anything you like do to hype yourself up?
Actually, I do.
Let's
You better
hear
stop
it.
looking at me, Brian. Stop looking at me.
Turn away.
Epstein?
No, it's because I told him something earlier, and he's just like, you better not say that. I was like,
Well, let's hear it.
I don't want to know. No.
There's only 2 people watching.
No. I'm not going to say that one. Actually, I do. This is something that I tell everybody when they ask me, like, how do you, like, what's your thing, like, when you play or whatever? And I tell them all the time, I can never just go out and play. I can't. It's this thing with me, because I feel like this is not just about me. So whenever I go to play somewhere, I need to get there with at least an hour of time before I play. I like to sit down and meditate and pray and give thanks to my ancestors and to everyone that has paved the way for me to be here.
Nice.
Because I didn't do this by myself. I feel like there's a lot of energies that I don't see, or spirits or ancestors and things like that around me that have put me in this place to do something. And the other thing that I do is I set an intention. So before I play, I'll sit there and I'll really like try to take in the energy of the space of where I'm playing and set an intention. So for example, tonight, I want people to release their anger, their stress, their worries. I want them to be able to be uplifted through this music and to catch whatever message they need to catch to have a better day, a better week, to move forward, get out of funk, and just keep going.
That's very inspirational. Wow.
You know,
that's
like,
dope.
Very true. Again, Juliet Mendoza, what are the links that your new fans and everyone that's watching can grab your music or watch you perform? What is your favorite? I mean, what is your link so they can get a hold of your music?
Okay.
Please.
For music stuff, you can go. Usually, it's in all streaming platforms. So like, TrackSource, Beatport, Apple Music. I'm sure there's other stuff. I think there's like Amazon Music too, things like that. There's all kinds of places now. You can find it on there. New releases coming up, I'll post on Instagram. My Instagram is Juliet, JULIET, __ Mendoza, MENDOZ as in zebra A. Definitely, that's probably like the best platform to catch anything if you want to know what events I'm playing or if I'm doing anything, things like that. Yeah, and that would be the...
I have one more question. I noticed you stream live on Instagram. Do you do Twitch or Mixcloud or anything like that?
Yeah, so I was doing Twitch during the pandemic. It was so
Nice.
much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a soulful house, deep house thing called Fly House. And then I started doing this B-side, vinyl B-side.
Those are always the
show.
dope tracks, dude. Like the
Yeah.
B-sides, right? Like,
but it was funny because a lot of people don't know this. Well, if you've done your research, then they know. But I'm a huge R&B head. Like I love
cool.
R&B music, like soul, like all like the
Beautiful
old
stuff.
70s, and like, oh my God, yeah, it's like a thing for me. Vocals are a thing for me, so I love R&B.
I can hear it in your music when you do it.
Yeah, I'm a huge vocal head. So I did this thing called Do Not Disturb, and what I would do is I would play B-sides of tracks of vinyl records, and just like things that are very like
Obscure.
very chill and sexy and, and
Nice.
jazzy and like
Just brings that vibe, you know?
yeah, like, and so it was like midday Wednesday, you know, like people were like, what the hell? But it was during the pandemic, you know, and I would be in a bata, you know, like on my little robe and just, yeah, B-sides with Juliet Mendoza. You know, like, yeah. I love the mic, by the way. Yeah, so it's a thing. Like they're like, dude, you should do like radio or something. And I was like, yeah, that sounds pretty good, right? Yeah. Yeah. So
Anita Baker.
yeah, like let's go. Yeah. So it reminds me of like when you watch the clips when they have like the strip club part, you know, and the guy's on the mic like, and next we have Candy. Like, you know, it's just like, oh snap. Like,
Candy's very known.
right? I'm like, oh. So, yeah.
That's cool.
Well, everybody, we want to thank you for tuning in. Our first guest was DJ Joaquin. Now we have the phenomenal Juliet Mendoza. We are gracious. I mean, we're grateful that she graced us with her presence today.
What's in that cup?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think it's
dude.
alcohol. Did you spike it? So we want to thank her so very much. Please tune in to her channels, her pages. Give her some support. My name is Craig Herrera. I have my partner right here, Bandit. We want to thank House Parties of the 90s for backing us up and being a part of this show. And we love you guys as well. And everybody who tuned in, all my friends in the Facebook world, Instagram, we thank you. Juliet, we know that you're going to be playing some vinyl. Please take it away.
Oh.
Let's go. Next on stage, Juliet Mendoza. Thank you.